to catch one of those things.
Sorry, what?
You have no idea what I've been through. No idea what I have seen.
What if there's something wrong with the baby? I can't tell how scared I am.
No matter what this place throws at us, we are going to find our way home.
Remember what?
What's missing?
What is up, everybody? Jeremy Eisenfire here, and welcome to the channel. Well, here we are, folks. From Season 3 is officially back, and it is off to a phenomenal start. After a gut punch of a season premiere, losing one of our most beloved characters in Tien Chen, to the Episode 2 follow-up where we see Kenny and the entire town bid a very heartfelt farewell, along with also setting up some very intriguing storylines for Elgin, Fatima, Boyd, and other characters, along with some long-awaited, very interesting reveals from Tabitha and Henry back in the real world. And now we take a look ahead at Episode 3 entitled Mousetrap, and it looks like the series is showing no sign of slowing down anytime soon if this trailer is any indication, as we see Jade, Kenny, and Kristi leading a group out into the forest to gather more food, along with Boyd seemingly getting ready to enact his very dangerous plan of trapping a monster. And with the third episode being titled Mousetrap, you start to wonder, is that some kind of hint as to the kind of trap that Boyd might be trying to set for one of these monsters, as we see the trailer begins with Boyd, Donna, and Ellis inside the sheriff's station, with Boyd informing Donna that he wants to trap one of these monsters, with her looking not all too pleased to hear about it. And when it comes to matters like this, I think Boyd and Donna are just approaching things from two very different standpoints, where Donna is playing things a little bit more safer, and how we very rarely see her venturing out and taking any kind of unnecessary risk, or any risk at all. And I think a lot of this boils down to them having two just totally different opinions and outlooks on this place as a whole, where Donna isn't exactly in as much of a hurry to escape this place as Boyd is. And we saw a clear example of this at the end of Season 1 when the radio tower first went up and Donna's very erratic reaction to it with the prospect of thinking that she might be leaving this place. And to her, that would be losing this entire family that she has come to know and love at Colony House. But then in Season 2, we get another example of this as well, when Jim brings up the voice that they heard over the radio at the end of Season 1, and how Donna instantly shuts him down and doesn't even entertain the possibility of investigating further, very much showcasing her unwillingness to take any kind of risk at leaving this place. Whereas Boyd is very much willing to risk his own life to try and get these people home and back to safety, and has shouldered the enormous burden of trying to be this town's protector in the face of all of this nightmare and danger that faces them on a daily or nightly basis. A role that has gone on to cost him and his family dearly. And on top of that, I think another big difference between these two characters is their personal experiences upon being in Fromville, where Donna is very much aware of the monsters and the threat that they possess. She has been pretty much located into the town since she's been here, whereas Boyd has seen the darker, more supernatural, and more scarier side that this place has to offer deeper in the forest.
There's darkness in the forest. Nightmares you can't even begin to imagine. My blood is your blood now.
Hope is what sent you out into the woods that day. Hope is what made you leave me alone when I needed you the most. It's not your fear that feeds the forest, boy. It's hope.
And I do believe if Donna had witnessed and experienced some of the things that Boyd has firsthand, she would probably have a much different outlook on this place. But alas, it's going to be very interesting to see how this scene plays out, and what exactly is Boyd planning to try and trap one of these monsters, and will it ultimately work, or could it potentially just lead to more ruin and death? But next, we see Jade, Kenny, Kristi, and the group that they have assembled head out into the forest to the ruined settlement to try and gather the food that they have recently found, as we see Jade and Kristi having some kind of argument. And Jade is another character very similar to Boyd, where he has definitely seen the darker and the more nightmarish side of things that Fromville has to offer, as he states that she has no idea the things that he has seen and been through since being here. Which then leads right into the vision that Jade is going to be having in this upcoming episode as well, of a man seemingly tethered to a tree with a railroad spike through his eye, surrounded by these weird blood-red covered rocks and some totems that we have seen in previous episodes. And seeing these blood-red stained rocks instantly made me think of a scene we see in Season 1, when Jade actually has his very first vision of the entire series down in the root cellar, where he sees a man seemingly crushed by a giant boulder not too dissimilar from these rocks here. And seeing this man tethered to the tree with a spike through his eye instantly reminded me of a scene we see in Season 2, when poor Kelly was left tethered to a tree by the monsters with rebar through her forehead. Which makes you wonder if this person here that Jade is seeing didn't suffer a similar fate that Kelly did. But as we see Jade approaching this person tethered to the tree, which seemingly grabs a hold of Jade and pulls him in close, and then the scene ends, which of course is very similar to a scene we have seen in previous trailers of this same person grabbing onto Jade, the same person that Jade also will see drinking out of a human skull in a later vision. And I suppose, at the very least, we can at least ask ourselves, is this indeed a vision that Jade is seeing, or could he potentially have stumbled upon a real person tethered to this tree? If we hadn't seen the other scene in the trailer of this same person drinking out of a human skull, I'd be a little bit more inclined to think that this could potentially be real, but I'm leaning a little bit more that this is going to be a vision that Jade is seeing. But I suppose the question then is, just what exactly is this person trying to convey to Jade? And could we potentially get some kind of answer as to what this symbol that is plaguing him ultimately means? But next, we get a very interesting scene between Fatima and Fanny Pat Granny, as Fatima states that she believes that there could potentially be something wrong with this baby, yet is afraid to let Ellis know just how afraid she really is, as we continue to see her munching down on rotten food from Colony House, rotten food that I believe was specifically put there for her child. And when we take a look back at Season 2, when Fatima does indeed find out that she has conceived, it is not long after that the rotten food starts to show up at Colony House, or at least that the ground starts to become poisoned, according to Donna. As next, it seems like Fatima's worry leads her to have her tarot cards read by Fanny Pat Granny at Colony House, only to be interrupted as a crow flies into the window. And up until this point, the crows are still incredibly mysterious in terms of what role they are going to play on the series, but the show has definitely made a point to show us many crows in both scenes and in plenty of the drawings as well. So maybe we'll learn a little bit more about what these crows' true intentions are. But next, we get an interesting montage of scenes, starting with Boyd saying no matter what this place throws at us, we will find our way home. As we also get a quick shot of the ambulance arriving at their downed tree. And of course, we do know that we were going to be getting some new characters in Season 3, in particular a new cop named Acosta entering the town of Fromville, and it looks like she will be arriving via this ambulance. And another thing we notice about the downed tree in the middle of the road is this is now the third different tree that we have seen when people are getting stuck here in Fromville. When the Matthews family first get stuck, they see a totally different tree than what Boyd and his family see when they get stuck, compared to this tree which is totally different from them both. Which, if nothing else, definitely continues to point to the fact that there could be multiple different entrances to Fromville, and people could be pulled in here from all over the map at any given time. Which of course is very similar to how Miranda described it to Henry. But next, it looks like we see Victor arriving at Sarah's house of all places, and we did see Victor and Sarah were going to have some scenes in Season 3 based on the trailer, as Victor is seemingly trying to uncover some kind of lost memory, which he will be attempting to find in this episode. And seeing as Season 3 is the season that we are starting to get some answers, it should be pretty interesting to see what Victor might uncover about the town's past, and if it is in any way tied to the 1978 massacre, which we did see another flashback to in the Season 3 trailer. But next we see a shot of Randall on the bus, followed by a shot of Jade running away from something with Kristi behind him, and I get the feeling this could potentially be the scene where Kristi gets her foot caught in the bear trap. In one of the previous trailers, we see Jade looking at something in the distance and then running away from it as if it is scaring him, and then it looks like we see Kristi chasing after him and then getting her foot caught in the trap, so this could potentially be the beginning of that sequence. As we also see one final shot of that same person that Jade had seen previously in the trailer drinking out of a human skull, followed by a very interesting scene of Jim slamming the phone down in a pretty angry manner. And when we take a closer look, we see that Jim is wearing an entirely different set of clothes than what he was wearing when he received the first phone call in Episode 2. We did have a feeling that Jim would be receiving more than just one phone call, and it looks like that is indeed the case, but I guess the question now is, are all of these phone calls coming from this person claiming to be Thomas? Or could we potentially see Jim get some other phone calls as well, maybe even hear the voice that he first heard on the radio at the end of Season 1, or maybe that voice and this voice pretending to be Thomas could potentially be one and the same. But next, the trailer ends with Tabitha having some kind of massive reaction to whatever she is seeing, and based on the episode synopsis, it looks like Tabitha is going to be making a mind-bending discovery in episode 3, and one can only begin to wonder what that might be. But it does potentially look like this will be the episode where Henry brings Tabitha to the bottle tree that we have seen in the trailers, along with maybe even being the same episode where they get into the car accident. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. But either way, it looks like episode 3 is going to pick up right where episode 2 left off, and they are not missing a beat, entitled Mousetrap. And one is left to wonder, does Mousetrap refer to Boyd setting some kind of trap for the monsters? Or could Mousetrap potentially refer to Kristi getting her foot caught in the bear trap? Man, definitely let me know down in the comments section, do you think Boyd will successfully trap one of these monsters, or could he potentially be talked out of even trying? But that is going to do it for our episode 3 trailer breakdown, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like on your way out, and consider subscribing to stay up to date on all of our upcoming episodes. And don't forget to come and join us live every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our live From watch parties. And until next time, keep those tinfoil hats on, folks, and I will see you on the next one.
My family's trapped in a terrifying place. No one can leave.
Why can't they leave us alone?
Hello.
This place will not break us. The only way we go home is together.